So they said that they're putting like because I use a master antenna, they said they use this TV as a way of communicating with me, putting certain things on the screen, and that you see where these circles are and how this is sort of the screen is kind of moving. I don't know if you see those lines moving. They said that's how they are doing this. They're doing it so that I see certain things that other people don't see on their TVs. But I would have to sit with my television on and recording it, and it would take forever. To me, it really isn't worth it. But they said what they did was they changed it so that everything looks like it's looking directly at me as opposed to looking at, when you watch television, usually it does look like it's looking at you, but they said they made it so that it looks like it's looking directly at me. I don't know. I don't know. I'll show you guys what they mean in a moment. But they can also change it once I upload it. So they said that they can remotely change what I'm filming. But I don't know. The other thing is that you see how the lines are there even when the screen changes, so it's not one particular screen. So they said they're doing something with the screen. The other thing is that they talked about succession rights on this. And what they said with the succession rights is that now, as a River Bay shareholder, you can determine who takes your apartment if something were to happen. And that was why they wanted to move someone in with me. And that's my point. Our apartments aren't just apartments, we have equity. So by letting someone take over, they also get your equity. And they thought I had more equity than I have, and they thought that that would be a way of stealing my equity. So there were a lot of reasons why they targeted me, and I'm trying to give you guys some of the reasons. Let me pause this and put on another channel. So, for example, they would say, this person's looking directly at you. And I would say, well, don't they always look directly at people when on the TV? I'm not sure. So I would have to have someone who knows about television to tell me. But this person doesn't look like she's looking at me at all. But they would say, well, don't television. They said they made it so that I would think the people on TV are looking directly at me. I don't really see it that way, but I would have to speak to someone who knows whether televisions look at people or not, but I don't think televisions look at people. So that's an example. See, this is the master antenna I told you folks about, that this is how I think it's also being done with the master antenna. So that's what it is. So for people who are like, well, what's a master antenna? It's sort of like a wire that comes through our walls to give us channels. And that's how I think they were doing this. Let me see if I can get the succession rights screen. So for example, they would say like these numbers are significant, that they're all the same. Well, they're all the same floor. I mean, I don't understand why they thought that the numbers were that. Um, I don't know. So I'll talk about what they did in the beginning with numbers after in a different video, but I don't know why they thought that was like the same thing. It was different. So, like I said, we're shareholders here, and so and I've been a shareholder since 1998, March 3rd, 1998. So when this started to happen, it just seemed like why was it happening? Well, I'll show you in a moment why I think part of a main reason why it happened. So, as I said, we're homeowners, not tenants. So, I don't know why this happened. That's what I'm saying. I don't believe that the people who are doing this are homeowners or shareholders, because we always had a really nice community, especially in my building. Everyone knew each other, we were cordial to one another. There would be no reason to do this. Um, I don't know why these people seem to have come. I said in about 2016. And the guy said, oh, in 2015, you didn't hold the door for me or something like that. But I don't think he lived here. He was outside pacing with a bag that looked sort of empty. And I was in a rush to come home. I had to use the ladies' room. And normally I would try to not go in when someone's outside like pacing like that, but I had to go to the ladies' room. So he said he came in after me, after standing outside for that time, I held the door. But instead of him going through the door, he he slowed down. So I let the door go, thinking that he would either hold the door or do something. But instead, what he did, I let it go really fast and turned around fast because I was suspicious, and I grabbed the door again. So instead of him trying to hold the door, he looked down at his watch, and I looked at his watch, and he nodded like, "Oh, it's okay," meaning that was the ultimate setup. Someone who was intentionally waiting for, they used to say in this apartment, they used to say I was a pigeon, waiting for a pigeon to come into the door, let him slow down, and then make it seem like in some way the door broke his watch. That didn't happen. I checked it. I looked at the watch. So when this was going on in about 2020 or 2021, they started saying that story out loud. And luckily I tweeted it, not the day they said it, but later on, so that I would have a record that that was one of the things they said about me. But that's the whole point. They kept saying I'm a pigeon. So one of the sounds they made was a pigeon sound. Okay, so here's the thing about the succession rights. So let me see if I can. They usually, when I look at something, try to read along. So let's see if they read along this time. Okay, so that was the thing with the succession rights. So I'm going to end the video with that so that you know that's what their goal was. They were going to have someone move into this apartment with me, and God forbid something happens, then they get the apartment. So they would not only have gotten my equity, they would have gotten the discount on the carrying charge, which is a monthly charge that I have to pay, that I haven't paid. And that's part of why I need to get this resolved. And then also they would have gotten the value of the apartment. So they would have really made a lot of money out of killing me. Thanks for watching.